Hello and welcome to the Music Shack podcast. This is episode number 64. This week you're joined by myself, Bruce.
Ron.
And Ed.
Alright, let's take a little peek into some albums we had for the week. So I gave you an album by Bonobo called Fragments. It was nice and soft.
Yeah, a lot more relaxing than I was expecting.
Yeah, very chill.
It almost could be lo-fi if it was a little bit, if the mix was different.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it was very much still like basic electronic, but if you were to dial back that mix a little bit, you could probably just count it as lo-fi. But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's definitely like a background album.
Mm-hmm. It's great for getting work done because you're not focusing on the music. It's helping to get you doing what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt it would be good for relaxing. Like after a hard day, just sitting back and listening to it.
I feel like it's
just vibing.
A good drive mix too.
It would
Yeah.
be. It would be.
I think this is definitely one that's going to be added to my collection.
Another fine addition to my collection. Okay. It's not how that reference goes.
Don't care. Don't care. I am here to ruin references.
I can see that.
And then to ruin another reference, let's go on to Ed's album.
Wow.
I told you I was going to ruin it.
Gotcha.
So, moving on.
Moving on. So, I gave you guys Excision's new album, Onyx. What I love about Excision is a lot of people that were making dubstep when dubstep faded in popularity went on to make different forms of electronic music, just trying to chase the popular vibe. Excision just kept with dubstep and continues to be insane with his bass.
Yeah, I love this. It
was lovely.
This is good.
Yeah. I mean,
It's an hour long, and I love the entire thing.
yeah, there's no skippables. Standout for me was definitely Our Fire.
That was
featuring Sullivan King.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Hypnosis had Heritage on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole album's a fucking standout. One of the things I thought was interesting, I've heard music by Dion Timmer, and
I know the name.
what I heard by them, it's very very bass heavy, but a lot calmer than Excision stuff. So I was not expecting to see Dion Timmer on an album with Excision, let alone 3 times.
Right.
And it's fucking phenomenal.
I think Decimate and Demisaur are probably 2 of my standouts.
Demisaur was nuts.
The whole thing is really good.
Yeah.
Like solid through and through. 17 songs, 1 hour of dubstep, and I love it. Which I never thought I'd ever say.
Yeah.
But this is good. But it's also, I mean, it's Excision.
It's Excision.
You can't really. It's hard to go wrong with Excision.
He is the bass king.
So
The modulated bass king.
yes.
Yes. Like, legit, if he sat there and if he launched a set of, say, 5 of his Serum presets, I would purchase them in a heartbeat. Actually, I'm probably going to see if they have them after this pod or during break, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's definitely a good set. Like, for being 17 songs, it's hard to make that good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm very, very surprised.
it's a 17 song album?
17 song, 1 hour record. That's
Yeah,
that's hard to do.
with the, like, quality level of an 8-song album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, crazy.
And then I gave you guys the new Skillet record called Dominion.
Yep.
Yes.
it was either this or Fit for an Autopsy, and I didn't get to finish Fit for an Autopsy. So I said, I'm gonna give Skillet.
Gotcha.
Personally, I love this, but I like Skillet. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like them, or have like 1 or 2 songs that they listen to, which end up being either Hero, Monster, or Comatose, for the most part.
Monster's my favorite track by them.
Good old Drop C.
Hey.
But, yeah, no, I love this whole thing. When they started doing the whole, metal influence with the 2016 release, which was Unleashed, they started incorporating, like, metal structure in terms of, like, the drums and the guitar riffs. And it's enhanced what they have so much more than what it previously was. And it lets them dive into a heavier tonality overall in terms of like instrumentals. It opens up so much more flavor to them. So I think it's very, very well done, and I like the direction. And they still have their like anthemic slower songs, but they still hit pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they're good at, being a Christian rock band. So honestly, it has anything that Skillet has done when they went mainstream. It has every aspect of that. So I think it's really good. I can't remember the song, but there's a couple guitar riffs that are just straight up like metalcore riffs for like verses or like outros, and it's just the way they incorporate that kind of thing is just amazing. So, like I said, I enjoy this a lot. I was very excited for it to come out. Excuse me. So, yeah, I say it's overall pretty good.
All right.
I have an honorable mention if you guys don't.
Okay.
Because I also went through Shadow of Intent, because they dropped Elegy, and it's brutality in its finest form.
Cavetown released 2 covers of Minecraft songs. They're called Squares and Y13, and they're basically piggybacking off of the calm nature of the Minecraft soundtrack, but it gives them a nice vocal. I'm trying to think what the hell I'm trying to say here.
Texture kind of thing.
Yeah, like he puts a story in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Something to help you have nostalgia to the song. It was very lovely.
Yeah, I would have had an honorable mention, but I was hyped for an album that wasn't as good as I was expecting. So, yeah,
that happens.
It was a letdown. So, all right.
Yes, segue into. I say we do Billboards real quick.
Oh shit! Okay,
Yeah, we can do Billboards and then break,
Yeah,
there we
we'll do
go.
it that way.
because they go pretty quick. Sitting at number 1 is Easy on Me by Adele. Sitting at number 2 is Stay by the Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber. Sitting at number 3 is Heat Waves by Glass Animals. Up to 4 is We Don't Talk About Bruno by Carolina Guyton, Mauro Castillo, Adassa, Renzi Feliz, and Diane Guarin. Down to 5, we got Shivers by Ed Sheeran. Up to 6, we got Super Gremlin by Kodak Black. New on the list at number 7 is Pushin' P by Gunna and Future, featuring Young Thug. Up to 8, we've got Need to Know by Doja Cat. Up to 9, we got A B C D E F U by Gale.
A B C D E F U. I've heard the actual song. It's weird.
And then down to 10, we've
Sounds
got
weird.
Cold Heart PNAU remix by Elton John and Dua Lipa.
All right.
All right. Onto the artist charts. We have up to 1 from 6th is The Weeknd. We have a re-entry At number 2, Gunna. Adele is down 2 spots to 3. Ed Sheeran is down 1 spot to 4th. Taylor Swift is down 3 spots to 5. Doja Cat's down 1 spot to 6. Olivia Rodrigo's down 3 spots to 7. Morgan Wallen's still at 8. Justin Bieber is up from 12th to 9th. And Luke Combs is down to 10 from 9th. That would be the top 10 of the Billboard Artist 100.
And taking a look at the top 10 for the Billboard 200, we have a new entry from Gunna with DS Forever. Number 2 is a new entry by The Weeknd with Dawn FM. The Encanto soundtrack has been pushed down to 3. Adele with 30 has been pushed down to 4. Morgan Wallen with the double album has been pushed to 5. The Weeknd is up to 6 with The Highlights. Olivia Rodrigo is down to 7 with Sour. Drake is down to 8 with Certified Lover Boy. Doja Cat is down to 9 with Planet Her, and Taylor Swift is down to 10 with Red.
All right. Moving on
to our break.
Break time.
When we come back, we will move into news and things that have been released that we're going to look for to talk about, and a couple other things. So we'll see you come back.
Looking to start a podcast? Buzzsprout makes it really easy. Get your show listed on every major podcast platform with little hassle. You will join over 100,000 other podcasters already using Buzzsprout. You'll get a really good website with audio widgets you can use on other websites, tools to help you promote your show, detailed analytics, and more. Follow the link to get started. It'll let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. If you sign up for a paid plan, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card, and you'll be directly supporting us here at Music Shack Pod. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to get a podcast out there.
Yes.
All right, we're back. All right, so I want to talk about albums that we haven't listened to for a while that we recently, went back to and realized we kind of forgot just how good they were. I went back through Disturbed's Asylum, and I was very impressed. Completely forgot about how good that album was, which kind of made me feel shitty. Yeah.
I feel like they have a Diamond in a Rough album, which is Believe, which is their 2002 release, which I don't think a lot of people remember. And I've listened through that a couple different times, and that one's actually pretty good too.
But Believe is good, yeah. I need to go back through it because I haven't heard it in a minute. But there's some songs off of it that I do listen to from time to time.
Yeah, that's another one. It's like a very sleeper-esque album. Like people just don't remember it being a thing.
Well, I think that's because of Sickness.
Probably
was the song that broke them,
which was their debut record. Because that came out in 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like, Believe just went completely under the radar.
That's what I think. Because a lot of people don't talk about that one when they talk about Disturbed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my impression about it. But it's still good.
For some reason, I thought Believe dropped before.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, it's because The Sickness has a 10-year anniversary edition.
Gotcha.
That's why I think people get confused with that.
Okay. All right. And the other album I recently went back to is actually something a little heavier than I normally listen to. Immortal by Lorna Shore.
That's when they had their previous vocalist.
Yes. Fucking fantastic album. I mean, I've been listening to King of Deception a lot this week. Just because I'm trying to figure out how to summon Cthulhu. What the fuck? Like, what?
dude gets low.
He gets dumb low. Like,
You got low.
It's crazy how low he gets. But yeah, it's a sick album. Group of Jersey boys too.
Mhm.
Like you gotta love a hometown band. Well, home state band. I don't know if they're home. They're definitely
I
not
don't think they're
hometown.
hometown.
No, but home state.
Well, it's Motionless in White's out of fucking. They're out of PA.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So they're not too far. Like their in home isn't too far. So they're out of I know where they're from and I can't think of it. I know the area code, which is 570, but I can't remember the area itself. And I know it. It's escaping me at the moment. If I think of it, I'll mention it again. But I've been going back to recently. I went back to Chaos by Attila, which is a 2016 release. That it came out at a time where everyone looked at Attila and went, "Oh, they're not actual metal. They're just joking around with simple three chords, detuning everything and not having serious content." Then they decided to drop Chaos, which is a full 12-song set, and it's about Franz pretty much being himself and saying "fuck everybody. I do me. You don't know what I've been through to get here, and I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do." That's kind of how it starts, and then they have that party anthem feel to it for the rest of the whole thing. I still love this because of that, and Mosh Pit is still one of my favorite songs because it's basically just an entire breakdown with some electronic stuff thrown over it, and it's just fantastic. The energy is there throughout the entire record because it starts and it doesn't there are no breaks. It just goes. And Let's Get Abducted is still great because
Let's Get Abducted.
because that there's a riff in that song that hits me every time. And I think it's the first time they hit the chorus. And it will always be my favorite riff out of stuff they've done. So, that's always a fun one to go back to when after a while. So I kind of just forget that it's there, and I'm like, I see Attila, and I'm like, oh, okay. There's stuff that I listen to. I like them. And then it's like, oh, wait, they have Chaos. And then I also went back to Helix by Crystal Lake.
Oh shit!
Wow, Ed, that's rude.
Very fucking rude. I feel like I need to answer this.
But
Ron, I'll get this for a little bit. You'll be good.
yeah, Crystal Lake. I remember I found them through Nick Nocturnal on YouTube, which, by the way, he's a great content creator.
I haven't watched his stuff in a little bit, but he's got great stuff.
So yeah, if no one's watched him before, he's really good. He does guitar covers, he does reactions, and he has a Twitch. So if you ever want to go listen to him and watch him, I highly recommend supporting him. He's great. But anyway, I found Crystal Lake through him with the Helix album, so it's kind of my favorite one they do. And they're like a metalcore, hardcore-esque type of metal group, and it's good. I love it. At Tokyo, of all places. One of my favorite songs is Hails with the Fire off of Helix, and I love the whole record. The breakdown in Aeon is nuts because it's straight up blast beat that has breaks in it, and there's a part in each time they do it. There's a part that it's elongated almost because 1, 2, and then the third one is elongated out, and then a fourth one about the same thing, and they repeat that about 2 or 3 times, I think. And then you get to Hails of the Fire, and it's like a tribal summon, like a tribal ritual dance almost, with metal. And it's just fucking great. And I don't listen to Crystal Lake too often as much as I probably want to, and probably should, because they're amazing. So I went back to that one day on my way home from work, and I was like, this is great. This is what I needed. I needed someone to scream in my ear that hard, apparently, just to have that. So, yeah, when they're probably gonna pop up more as I go through things.
Gotcha.
Because I still love that. I love Helix. That's only a 4-year-old record. Like, it's still so good.
One that I've actually gone back to recently is Pieces of Eight and Treasures of Old by Musical Blades. They released it back in 2014, and it's basically a collection of all their best songs and their best performing songs, because they're a pirate-themed performance group.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 38 songs. And it's been probably a year and a half, 2 years since I listened to this album, but it's just so good. I forgot how much I listened to it before. I fire up the first song, all the lyrics are in my head. I remember I could go through the entire album and sing it nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some really good songs on here that have they give different energy to some other versions I've heard, like Will the Circle Be Unbroken. Like, they have a really high and upbeat version, whereas most of the other ones I hear are people singing soft and sad.
Mm-hmm.
We've got lovely songs in here. And then another one I went back to recently that I haven't listened to in a while is Hellbilly Deluxe by Rob Zombie.
Oh god,
This guy.
that I gotta be in the mood for Rob Zombie.
You know what my favorite song by Rob Zombie is?
What?
Thunder Kiss.
Okay.
It's a good one.
I don't know why, but that is my favorite song by him. Like, of all his like great songs, that's the one.
Yeah, and I just love going back through Hellbilly Deluxe and even Hellbilly Deluxe 2, just because the mood it sets with the interludes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's good stuff.
He's good live too.
Yeah, that album's a trip.
I also found myself going to Panic at the Disco again.
Really?
Yeah, I went back through Death of a Bachelor.
No shit.
Dude,
That's too good of an album to
for a
not listen
6-year
to.
record, holy shit!
I love how your music taste goes from like pure just to like
To
Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I can go straight to Avril Lavigne. I can do that too.
Yeah. I love how it just drifts.
Her new song is good, Bite Me. I like that one. But yeah, no, I don't know. For whatever reason, I was like, I'm gonna listen to Panic. So I went to Death of a Bachelor. I was like, still holds up. It's another 2016 release. It's back when Bruce and I were still in high school.
Yeah, right.
Also, you know how Rob Zombie's newest album like had the full ass, like long ass name to start with? Well, we've always called this Hellbilly Deluxe and Hellbilly Deluxe 2, but I've just been reading the description of it, and it's got even longer name.
Yep.
So it's Hellbilly Deluxe, 13 Tales of Cadaverous Cavorting Inside the Spook Show International.
Yep.
And then Hellbilly Deluxe 2 is Hellbilly Deluxe 2, Noble Jackals, Penny Dreadfuls, and the Systemic Dehumanization of Cool.
Do you know why he does that?
I do not, but I would love to know.
He does that because this is actually a little fun fact section where I can throw in the metal thing about that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But Rob Zombie has the names of songs and albums that he does because he looks at other people's stuff and goes, these all have the same songs. There's no like uniqueness to it. So he goes, I'm going to make it a point to have unique titles for everything. So he does, which is why we get all these weird shit.
Which, I love it.
I love individuals.
Like Death and Destiny inside the Dream Factory.
Yeah. Like he does that on purpose. So
Like-
it'll take him, X amount of time to name something. But when he gets it right, he's like, that's it. That's the one. And that's what he puts it as.
Like I've said before how I love metal names and whatnot, but Rob Zombie takes it to the maximum. Like he stretches it out as far as you can possibly take it before you start to question the sanity of the person.
Yep.
And then he pushes it just a little bit further.
So, now, I mean, one of my favorite things about the metal genre is the emotional side. About the, like, way that they're, like, conveying, like, real, raw emotions.
Mm-hmm.
That you really don't hear in most forms of music. Like, that's why, like, I've always went to metal, like, when I wanted to feel like somebody understood my depression. Amity's Afflictions, Pittsburgh. It's the only song I listen to by them, but that's because I can relate the most with that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most relatable songs I ever heard. As depressing as that might sound to anyone that knows the lyrics to that song, but
There are some songs that just resonate with people.
yeah. But I love that. But me and you were talking earlier about how Metallica was once called heavy metal, and today they're just looked at as hard rock.
Yep. The standards have definitely changed over the years, but like, you look back at the '60s when this was unheard of. Like, these down-tuned machines, or these down-tuned instruments were unheard of. And then out comes Black Sabbath out of nowhere with detuned guitars and darker lyrics, faster tempos, different structures. It was, nobody had ever done this before, and people at the time were looking for a way to do this. Like, they were looking for an outlet for these more serious topics and more serious thoughts. And Black Sabbath said, hey, why don't we down-tune guitars, make everything faster in some cases, and just do it. And at the time, when, as it became, more popularized by them and other groups started doing it, they looked at it and everyone was calling it, heavy metal. And then they said, well, I see it as hard rock or heavy rock. But they didn't see themselves as metal at the time. Little do they know, they kicked off an entire genre.
Yeah.
And then you hit the 70s, and you get, more or less the same thing. Still a bunch of solos are thrown in. And then thrash starts becoming a thing late 70s into the 80s. And then you get glam metal, which is basically hair metal. So you have arena shows with Guns N' Roses, AC/DC in some cases. You have Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, all of these different groups. And then the 90s hit, and you have the post-hardcore era, where you have grunge, you have the beginnings of nu metal, you have just post-hardcore punk in the form of like Green Day and everything. And then we hit the nu metal era in the early 2000s. Which then evolved into metalcore, and then it goes from there. It's like, it's what, a 60-year-old genre almost? Just a little over?
But I mean, and there's been some heavy shit though, like
Oh, yeah.
Anthrax was pretty fucking heavy.
Yep.
And
They were ahead of their time.
I think
that
Static X was in the 90s too, right? When they started making
I think
music?
so.
And they were fucking heavy.
Because, like, death metal didn't really exist until the late 80s, early 90s. And it didn't hit more of a mainstream stride that it kind of has now until, like, the late 90s.
Yeah.
Because, like, 6 Feet Under, I only know them because my dad has a CD from them. He has the Maximum Violence CD.
Maximum Violence.
Which is from 99.
No shit.
And it's straight up death metal, but it's so different. Like, there's no texture on the vocals. It's a straight up like Fry. It still has like that 70s feel, like slowed down drone, and then like drums kick in, and there are solos. There's not necessarily like a breakdown anywhere. It's so different. So it's like, it's weird to see how like 2 years can change an entire structure.
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, you kind of see it with rap as well. Like, their structure of song making and sounds that people chase seem to change every 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah, it's crazy.
the only thing I don't like about, like, I think I said this prior, I am starting to move away from hip hop. because it seems to be the same topics. Well, it'd be one thing if the topics were serious,
Right.
but it's money, drugs, women, guns. And I'm like,
There's no.
you got anything practical here? It's like the old stereotype about country music. Yeah, it's just alcohol, heartbreak, and old trucks.
Yeah. And tractors in some cases.
Yes.
And fire pits, and it's like, it's cool, but there's only so much you can do with that.
Yeah. I've gotten more into R&B and pop, and hard rock to metal, because of the change in topics that those genres go through, and the emotions that some of those genres express. It's a lot more mature than what you hear out of most hip-hop artists. I'm not saying all, but most, because there are rappers out there who do have mature topics.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's like I found a video on the history of metal, like, randomly on YouTube, and I was like, okay, let me watch this.
Ron was in his glory.
Well, and the guy had demonstrated like different riff structures and styles as he went through the generations, and he would play like certain songs to like pretty much highlight it. It was actually really cool. So if I could find it again, I'll have to send it to you.
All right. Now, I love hearing about like the history of genres. Like, I've watched multiple documentaries on the history of rap. Yeah, I love learning about the birth of genres and where they came from. I watched something on the birth of rock, how that came from blues.
Mm-hmm.
And I love blues because, again, the emotions that is expressed, the topics that they cover.
I think that's why you like dirty rock, because it goes back to those roots.
It does go back to the blues roots. The guitars aren't as cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
They're using a lot of gain to give them that dirty, grimy sound, like you hear in some of those blues songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
some groups do it with the vocals too.
yeah. Yeah,
So
I know I love what is it? I love Highly Suspect because of the topics they cover, the pain that they express. You know, in songs like Lydia, Bath Salts, 16, like, and then they have like fun songs like Human,
mm-hmm.
you know. But poor Bruce is over there in his own world. Welcome back, Bruce.
I'm looking for news.
Alright.
Okay. We'll leave him be then.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time because we are on a
Yeah, I heard
tangent.
you guys started talking about metal, and I was like, all right, I got time to look for stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those things that to see a generation change like that,
Yeah,
especially if in the 60s, if you started and like metal first appeared and you watched this and you followed it and watched this change over time and morph into this almost mainstream thing that it is.
yeah. I mean, watching it morph over my lifetime, like, I've only been here 28 years, and watching the change in metal, the change on how people feel about the genre, and the types of people who you see listening to the genre. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the stereotypical black fingernail, all black wearing people. Like, you see fucking, I remember I was sitting at a light, this guy had a red Mercedes, right, with his windows down in the summer. Right, so I was listening to my typical summer shit, which is electronic music that has no meaning. I mean, it's just good time shit.
Right.
And this dude's sitting there with his windows down and has metal just playing. And he's sitting there all serious in his suit, but like coming from his radio. And I'm like, it's crazy. Like,
I love seeing it.
like the stereotype is broken. Like,
It makes me feel better about it too. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm still that weird guy in every group that listens to it on the daily, and it's like I can't just put that on if someone wants to listen to music. They're like, oh, what do we want? Somebody put something on. I'm like, you guys don't want to listen to what I listen to, and they're like, why not? I'm like, because it's heavy metal, and they're like, that's fair.
Yeah, generally, if I don't know what to put on, and people are like, oh yeah, put something on, and I really don't know the group, I'll put on Drake. Because Drake is universally, like, accepted.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part. But
I feel like anybody from that era kind of is, like, okay to put on just to, like, test the water and see where people want to go.
Yeah, it could be just because I'm a millennial. That could be what it is. Like,
well, even, like, people
bottom of the barrel millennial, though, like, damn near Gen Z.
I would say there's, like, people in our generation do it. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see how like different dynamics appear or change or even fade out.
Yeah,
because you don't see the whole hair metal thing anymore. You don't really get solos too much.
Steel Panther still does the hair metal styling.
Yeah, but they're not as prominent in the scene anymore. That's what I'm talking about. Like you don't see a lot of groups doing it anymore.
Steel Panther's fucking hilarious. That glory hole.
But yeah, no, it's just interesting.
That song is so fucked. Oh shit! All right.
I say we go into news before Ed goes any farther. Because he will if we don't.
It's probably a good idea.
Bruce, I hope you found something. We gave you plenty of time.
All right.
Go ahead. Start with you.
We can talk about the... My brain lost the word for it. I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. My brain lost the word for what I wanted to say about it.
Oh, boy. Okay, here we
All
go.
right. You want me to...
When We Were Young
I was
concert?
looking at that. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, that... Just the entire record of how many people there are going to be over one day.
Mm-hmm. They actually tacked on a second day because the first day sold out so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be one day in L.A., I think.
And I actually saw on a couple of news articles that some of the bands that were on the list
Vegas, I'm sorry.
didn't even know they were going to be there yet.
Yep. But like,
But how many bands was there?
there's probably
lost
close.
count.
Yeah, I don't even know. Here, I'm gonna read.
I remember someone did the math for the one day, and they were like, everyone would have to play like a 30-minute set, and then go from person to person to person to get everyone to play in the day.
I'm gonna read you some of the groups that are gonna be at this show, and I'm so mad that I can't go. But some of the headliners are My Chemical Romance, Paramore, AFI, The Used, Bring Me the Horizon, Taking Back Sunday, Dashboard Confessional, Alkaline Trio, Manchester Orchestra, A Day to Remember, Pierce the Veil, I Prevail, The Story So Far, Dance Gavin Dance, The All-American Rejects, Boys Like Girls, Car Seat Headrest, Sleeping with Sirens, Knocked Loose, I believe it's Jaden, it's JXDN, Avril Lavigne, Motionless in White, Black Veil Brides, Ice Nine Kills, Senses Fail, Bayside, Silverstein, Pele Royale, Mayday Parade, and there's just a bunch more.
It's so many.
I am so mad that I'm not going to be able to go to this, because I want to. It's October 22nd and 23rd in Las Vegas, at the Las Vegas Festival Grounds.
Gotcha. While we're talking about tours, if we're done there.
I think so.
All right. So Rage Against the Machine postponed the first leg of their tour with Run the Jewels.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited or interested in that because it's Run the Jewels.
Yeah. I love Run the Jewels. But yeah.
I found more of the list. I think I found an excerpt they had of like a quotation they inserted of like the whole list.
Gotcha. Yeah, apparently they dropped off Coachella and an upcoming Boston Calling lineup.
I'm not surprised they dropped Coachella.
Yeah. They they were set to start March 31st in El Paso, Texas, and run through August. They announced that shows scheduled for March 31st through May 23rd are postponed, and new dates to be announced. They'll now start July 9th in East Troy, Wisconsin. But yeah, they're rescheduling this tour, and I forget how many times this article said that they rescheduled, but it's not the first time that this tour has been rescheduled. It's been rescheduled twice already. This
Damn.
tour with Run the Jewels, and I love Run the Jewels. And when I was a teenager, I fell in love with where Rage Against the Machine, which when I was listening to it, they were no longer making music.
Yeah.
But you know, Bulls on Parade and what is the other one? Killing in the Name of. Oh, those were my go-tos, especially Killing in the Name of. I listened to Killing in the Name of, and then kind of felt weird about listening to Bulls on Parade after it was on Guitar Hero, because me being the contrarian I am, I'm like, I don't want anyone listening to this. I don't want anyone to think I'm listening to this because I heard it on Guitar Hero. I was fucking with the song before Guitar Hero. Everybody else getting on it's just fucking chumps. Even though the song was made before I even started listening to the band. But yeah, there's just something fucking wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with being introduced to a band or a song via a video game. I've been introduced to plenty of bands and songs via video games. So
Yeah, general admission tickets for the When We Were Young show start at $225.
Whew. God damn.
I didn't hear you say Paramore.
It was
They're
the
on
second one.
I see that. I know, but I was off in my own world.
MCR and Paramore are the headliners.
Oh shit!
But like, Bring Me is on there.
I seen that.
Atreyu's on there. Souson's on there. Paris, Story of the Year, Wolf Alice, Nessa Barre, Acceptance, Poppy, Bright Eyes, Jimmy Eat World, Lil Huddy, The Starting Line, Thursday, and Berlin. Like, 303 is on here. State Champs is on here. 4 Years Strong, We the Kings, The Wonder Years, Royal and the Serpent, The Ready Set, Kitty, Hawthorne Heights, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, The Garden, Horror Pops, Meet Me at the Altar, The Linda Lindas, and Prentice are all on here. The Main, Neck Deep is on here. Like, Mom Jeans even. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, no, it is like the lineup that everybody wants, basically.
All right. So I do have more news. There's a street musician who had his drum set stolen from him.
Oh.
Now the reason why this is, newsworthy. Well, one, it's pretty fucked up. Somebody would steal somebody's, maybe secondary income, if not his income. I'm not sure how much people make off of being street musicians, but I know people do tip them. I tend to tip street musicians. Yeah, there's a drummer had his drum set stolen, and this guy Lars bought him a new drum set, and the Lars I'm talking about is
I saw this.
the Lars from Metallica.
I saw this.
So I thought that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Lars. Yeah. that was sick. Yeah. And I did see this.
Yeah, the
I
Matt
will
Heafy thing.
I will let you do this because I was going to bring this up.
I'm gonna have to listen to this because it sounds interesting.
It really does.
But so Trivium's Matt Heafy. Apparently, I didn't know this was a thing, but he and was it? I think it's Isan is his name, the guy from Emperor. apparently they have been promising for years to have a thing like a music debut together, and they have finally dropped their first song under the name Ibaraki. They dropped a song called Tamashi no Hokai, which is a Japanese term meaning the breaking of the soul or soul collapse. And it's black metal. So, yeah, I'm very interested. So it's definitely something I'm going to have to go through just because I want to hear it.
Yeah. Gee.
So,
Like I said, I was going to bring that up, but I looked over and seen it was up on Ron's phone, so because that's something I am interested in hearing. All right.
Let's see. There's a list of rock and metal albums starting 20 this year.
Really?
Yeah, there are 50 of them according to this list.
Okay, we're not going through this list.
No, we're not. But there's some stuff on here that
You've rambled long enough, sir.
there's some stuff on it. Black Label Society is on here. Boxcar Racer's on here. So is Bad Religion. So is Audio Slave and Three Doors Down, just to name a couple on here.
That Audio Slave album, my parents
self-titled.
got me when I was a kid.
So yeah, that's. There's some news here, but there's too much to talk about. We got to wrap this up soon, so we got to move on to our
recent releases.
yes, which are for I believe the 14th.
No,
21st.
that was last
21st.
week.
My bad. I have mine pulled up, so I guess I will start.
Okay.
I have another long one. So as of January 21st, 2022, these have been released according to Loudwire. But 40 Watt Sun dropped Perfect Light. Abyssus dropped Death Revival. Acheron dropped Satanic Victory EP. It's a re-release. Ashes of Ares dropped Emperors and Fools. Battle Beast dropped Circus of Doom. Beridir, I don't know, dropped, I think it's called Aqua. Billy Talent dropped Crisis of Faith. Blood came out with a re-release of Disangelium, something like that. Boris dropped W. Comeback Kid dropped Heavy Steps. I'm kind of curious. Druid Lord dropped Relics of the Dead. Edge of Forever dropped Seminole. Giant came out with Shifting Time. Great American Ghost with the Torture World EP. Hanging Garden with Neither Moth Nor Rust EP. Heir Apparent came out with a re-release of Graceful Inheritance, which is, funny enough, there is a gun in Destiny 2 named, like, with the same name, spelled the same way. Fun fact. No connection at all, I'm sure, but that's just
Man
funny.
just has to run the video games.
Yeah.
Why not?
Candia drops Quaternary. Kissin' Dynamite came out with Not the End of the Road. Lalu came out with Paint the Sky. Lionheart with a re-release of Second Nature. Nocturna with Daughters of the Night. Set Your Sails with Nightfall. Sleepwolf with Sunbeams Curl. SOM with The Shape of Everything. Spitfire with Denial to Fail. Through the Noise with the Tragedies EP. Tokyo Blade with Fury. Torchbearer with Solace. Very Culpa with Tunturi Halta. And then Varsity with Welcome Home, which is what you guys are getting. I already went through it because I was waiting for this because it didn't drop when it was supposed to initially. But it's out now, and it's good. It's groovecore.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Did you mention the Asking Alexandria?
I did not. Are they having something?
Yeah. Never Gonna Learn EP.
I didn't know this.
Yes. This dropped Friday. It's
Oh,
4
shit.
songs, 16 minutes. I'm definitely going through it.
So am I. So am I.
So we could move on to Bruce.
All right.
Yeah.
My list for
Oh,
the 21st
and
of January.
there's a song that came out too. I'm gonna listen to, and I can't find it now.
All right. While you're looking for that, we will go to Bruce.
I think it's the new Era song I was talking about. It's called "Nigh of Silence." Really good.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
All right. For the 21st of January, we've got Vertigo of Flaws, Emancipation of the Dissonance and Temperaments of Irrational Waveforms by Trees Speak. I'm going to listen to that one just to see.
Okay.
Apparently, they were inspired by Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way.
The Overload by Yard Act. The Gods We Can Touch by Aurora. Archive Material by Silverbacks. Change the Show by Miles Kane. Night Call by Years and Years. Good to Be by Keb Mo. W by Boris. And Wild by the Sound Carriers.
Oh, excuse me.
That that's a deluxe album by Nightcall.
Huh.
Yeah. See. Don't know why Merman, but it happens.
I'm sure there's a reason for that.
There's got to be a reason for that. All right. Was that it?
Yeah.
All right. So Paper Route Empire dropped an album I'm probably going to listen to. Paying respect to Young Doff with the name. Long live Young Doff. Hello. What is it? Young Boy Never Broke Again dropped Colors Deluxe. Christina Aguilera dropped
Really?
yeah,
She came out with something.
she came out with an EP.
Wow.
La Furza.
Interesting.
Yeah. Jada Youngin dropped Scared EP. Brothers Osborne dropped Skeletons Deluxe. Ian Dior, which I'm definitely going to listen to because
Yes.
I've heard some good shit by him, dropped On to Better Things.
Oh, I'm going through that.
Burner dropped Gotti Deluxe. Bicep dropped Isles Deluxe. Almighty dropped Genelipsis. And
Yeah, I'm excited for the Ian Dior one.
That
EP was good.
Bam Bam dropped the B EP.
B?
Yeah, just
As in
the
just
letter B.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that should be it. Oh, Rilla dropped the Yugiki.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right then. I do believe we're gonna wrap this up here. So that's gonna do it for episode 64 of the Music Shack podcast.
Indeed.
If you're returning, thank you for coming back for this week's episode. If you're new, I hope you liked it. Please check out the rest of our episodes that we have because there's a lot more music. So yeah, thank you for returning. Welcome if you're new, and if you liked it, please follow. We do have a Twitter at Music Shack Pod, which we are going to utilize more. So follow that if you want to keep up with when we drop an episode or when we're going to drop an episode. So you can keep an eye out for it. We're on every major platform but Pandora. So if you want to listen to us there, you can. And yeah, thank you and enjoy the noise.
As always, Plur, one love. Mosh and rave responsibly. Bruce said he's doing it right now. Tweeting out that this will drop tomorrow.
Yeah, the Twitter thing.
Yes. He's doing the Twitter thing. Good for him. It's week 2 of us ending it on going after Bruce, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
I could just not hit the tweet button.
This is true. You could.
You really could, because we're being assholes. Right?
I'm gonna hit it anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
but I will also finish the tweet before I hit the tweet button.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Please do so. Okay. And enjoy the noise.
I heard that. I was like, what the fuck?
You know, it didn't really phase me because that's kind of stuff I listen to on the regular, and the videos I watch on the regular.
I am good at that.
I was not expecting it to sound like that. That was really weird.
And it sounds like you have a car to move or something.
I think that's what's going on. All right. Peace.